One color doesn't mean boring, and different colors does not mean chaotic. Let's talk monochromatic and color blocking. Hey girl, it's Nisha so Gaudy, your edgy, funky, and a little bit extra fashion best friend. This is a Fashion IRL episode, so we know that it's segmented. And what we're going to be doing first is talking about monochromatic versus color blocking, what it means, and how to achieve those looks. Then we're going to hop into Worn in a While, where my style outfits leave the house with me. And we're going to close with Nisha's Nightcap. And that's my end of the show sip, where we talk all things fashion. So let's go ahead and get right into it. So this is something I would wear. You know how you meet somebody online and they want to do a little meet and greet first before they take you on a real date. I would wear this to a meet and greet somewhere lunch adjacent. Or I would wear this to a comedy show. Um, you know, you want to be cute, but you're not gonna do too much because it's just a local comedy show. You know, you in there. Let's get into the formula. So for the base, I paired these mauve jeans with this mauve mock neck long sleeve top. I feel like the tones. Okay, so this is first of all, this is a tonal monochromatic look. The tones are similar; they all are in the same family, but they're not all an exact match. So, the tones, even the tones in the top and the jeans are not exact, but they match enough whereas they complement each other and they look good together. Then I went deeper with the jacket and the bag. And as far as the shoes, I feel like they match the top a bit more. But as you can see, it's all in the same family, and it's not a true monochromatic look, but it's a tonal monochromatic look, and so it counts. um, I don't feel like there's any one particular statement in this look. I think because when the tones are all in the same family, like it's pretty much one tone, your eye is drawn to the entire outfit. It's like a singular. You take it all in at one time. So I feel like the entire outfit is a statement, and monochromatic looks tend to do that. It's not one thing that really is gonna pop out. Um, as for my accessories, I kept them in the silver family because of the silver hardware in my jacket and in my jeans and also in my booties. So silver is the accent color. So I just put on these statement hoop earrings and then a statement ring. I feel like if you want to create this a similar look, I think the best way to do that would be to start with colors that you have a lot of in your closet. And typically that's your favorite color. So you're probably gonna have a jacket, bottoms, top in your favorite color, or a color that repeats itself a lot in your wardrobe. And then just play around with it and see what pairs well together. I think that when we're doing tonal monochromatic looks, it's good to mix textures. So bringing in cotton, denim, leather, laces, wool, even fur, makes the look come together better, because especially even if not even necessarily if the look is tonal, but especially if it's all one color, because it can tend to go flat. And so if you bring in different textures, it gives the eye something more to look at. It's more visually pleasing. But like I said, just play around with the things that you have in your closet and see what you come up with. Because like my motto is, if it don't look right, you don't gotta do it again. You are not tied to wear the same thing over and over. So have fun with it. It's just clothes. All right. So overall, I feel like this look is giving quiet power, but make it street approved. Now on to look number 2. All right. So this is a look that I would wear to a jazz bar. It's giving like a Friday night, Saturday night vibe to me. Cause it's casual, but it's dressed up. So it's giving weekend vibes. So I would probably wear this to a jazz bar somewhere in the South Loop. If it's nice enough, fall evening, rooftop lounge, sitting around a fire pit. This is something that I think is fitting for that occasion. So let's go right ahead and get into the formula. So I feel like a cheat code, an easy cheat code when doing monochromatic looks is to start with a matching set. Because half the work is done. All you need to do is then pull the look together with your purse and accessories, shoes. So easy cheat code. So my base is a burgundy or merlot jogging suit, and then I feel like the statement in this look is probably the way I'm wearing what I have going on up top. The fact that I put the hood on with the baseball cap and then even put the sunglasses on, I feel like I'm really giving some incognito vibes. But I feel like that's the statement. It's telling a story. It's telling mysterious and style. As far as the accessories, I wanted the baseball cap and the sunglasses to keep with the monochromatic color story. And then I did do pops of silver because the biker jacket has silver details. So my earrings, you can see them peeping through. They have silver, and then I have a statement silver bracelet. I intentionally on this purse because this is not a clutch, but if you've been watching, you know that I'll make a clutch at any point in time. So because this purse has gold details, I tucked it inside. Because I didn't really want it flashing, especially because I have the silver bracelet right on my wrist. I do know that my shoes have a silver detail chain on the side, but I don't mind wearing mixing silver and gold. I just don't, depending on what the pieces are, I don't necessarily want them right next to each other. So that's the thought process behind that. Overall, I feel like this monochromatic look is giving I could run errands or room. Now on to our color blocking look. Okay, so this look to me, it screams work. Not wearing this to work, I'll wear this to church or some kind of church adjacent banquet or function. It's to me, it's really cute, but it's also really safe. I don't know. It just gives me work at church. Uh, so as far as the formula goes, what I went looking for in my closet were pieces that were all one color. So I grabbed some orange pants, mustard colored sweater, and began to play with that. Took it from there. As far as the statement, I feel like the fact that the colors are unexpected, that's the statement. The unexpected colors is not one piece, it's the color pop throughout the outfit. As for the accessories, I did decide to, because I wanted to make it pop even more, I decided to bring in red in the earrings and the glasses, and then I put on gold on the wrist and the rings to pick up the gold that is in this brown purse. And I wanted the brown purse because it goes with the brown shoes that I have on. I hope you can see these. I can tell. I'll show you. They match really well with the brown shoes that I have on. And it's real easy when you doing a monochromatic look, not monochromatic, color blocking look, to use a neutral color as one of your colors. So like black, white, or brown is one of your colors to bring the outfit together. And it's kind of safer to be honest. It can look good if I was to put on a different color shoe that wasn't neutral, but I don't know, it just feels safe, and to me it just brings the look together in a cohesive way. So if you want to pull a look like this together yourself, it's easy to go to Google and take a look at the color wheel. And the colors that are complementary, those are the colors you want to pair together. So for example, it is basically the colors that are close to each other on the color wheel. Colors that contrast, that also are going to look good, those are across from each other on the color wheel. So that's just the easy way as a guide to figure out how you're going to pair colors together if you're having a difficult time. So if they're close together, they're complementary, and they're going to look good. And if they're across from each other on the color wheel, those colors are going to contrast and also look good. So this is my contrasting color blocking look. And why I say contrasting? This is my complementary color blocking look. And I feel like this look is giving warm tones with no apologies. Now on to our final look. All right. So this is a look that I would wear to brunch. I think it's an obvious brunch look. It screams brunch to me. Or I would wear it to a bridal shower or baby shower. Something kind of girly, you know, where there's going to be a lot of women around and you and your girls, y'all match each other's vibe. This is giving me a girly day. As far as the base of the outfit, I opted to go with a contrasting color blocking look. I know a lot of times we see red, white, and blue looks paired together, but these are slightly different shades of the red, white, with the red and blue combo that we see paired. And so it catches the eye when you see it. I do think it came together nicely. It's not the regular bright red and navy, the turquoise or whatever shade of blue this is. With this neon, this kind of neon red, they pop and pair well together. Uh, with the rest of these color blocking looks and monochromatic looks, I don't think none of, and now I'm saying this big bracelet is like weighing my arm down. Okay, so I think you take the entire look in because of the contrast in colors, but an obvious statement in this look is this bracelet. Oh, I did decide to add it to this look because a lot of times I don't put it on, even though when I purchased this bracelet, I bought it to wear as an everyday silver bracelet, but it's so big and it just because it's so big and then with the spirals, the way it hits against outfits, I like it better with outfits that don't have print. So I feel like it went well with this. And then by being silver and there's silver in this purse, I opted for silver accessories. So I got silver on the earrings as well. You probably wondering why I didn't go with the red glasses from the last look, and that's because those glasses have a gold trim around the top. And with the silver earrings being right here, I didn't want those to clash. I opted for the white purse because I do have on white shoes, and they're barely peeping through my pants because my pants are long, but I have on a white shoe. Yes. So overall, oh, before we get to that, you could recreate this look by, like I said with the previous look, pulling out the pieces that are all one color. But going to that color wheel for reference and doing contrasting colors, going across. So if you have a sweatshirt that's a certain color that you want to wear, scan across the color wheel and see what color is across from it and what bottoms you have that may match, or vice versa. So, and then, like I said before, the black, white, and like the colors in the brown family, they are good. They're good to use as bases for color blocking because they bring the looks together easily. So the white came in a clutch for this look. So I feel like this look is giving high C meets blue Kool-Aid. So Monday at the gig, and the look that I intended to wear fell apart, and so I ended up with this. I knew I liked it because I've worn it before, so it's a repeat offender. You guessed it, at the JLBO again. Um, I wanted to feel like myself and be comfortable, so I pulled this look together. I was excited to wear these pants. I like them, but they attract dirt like I don't know what. I wanted them in more colors, but not now. The look that gets a repeat offender. It was cute. As I said before, I don't try things on before I put them on. So the look that I was intending to wear fell apart on this day as well. So I ended up with this. And I don't think that I would wear the jacket and the boa again, but not the look. And so for that reason, it gets a one and done. Friends, how many of us have them? For some reason, I remind myself of Houdini in this look. I loved it though. So it's a repeat offender. This footage is confusing the hell out of me because where is my jacket? I have footage of me with a jacket, but I don't see it on my timeline, so I don't get it. But anywho, I love the look. Wish you could have saw it with the jacket underneath, and I do think I will wear this again. So repeat offender it is. Hmm. I wish I could have played that off right quick. I just tried this new kombucha from Aldi for the first time. And girl, it is not good. I was gonna sip that and come right into my spill, but baby, no, that was not it. Oh, wait. It kind of got like a corn chip taste in there. Oh, that's not it. I wish I had some water nearby. But anyway, let's get into it. And that taste is stuck at the roof of my mouth. Mm. Okay, so the first thing I wanted to do is I got a package today. And so I already know what it is. But I waited to open it and I'm thirsty. So it took a lot for me to wait to open this on camera. Because I almost put them on when I left the house today. But these are earrings from Koi. Oh, I hate that sound. That like chalkboard sound. That feeling you get when you scrape stuff. Oh, that's the feeling I'm getting trying to open this. But this is like I don't know. They put some kind of, it's a thick plastic on here. It's not like a cheap tape. It's some kind of thick plastic. So, come on now. Oh. And they're a small pair of earrings. All of my pieces from Koi so far have been statementy, but these are really small. And it's because I noticed that when I don't want a big pair of hanging earrings, I don't really have any. I like button earrings, but like I don't have plain ones. So I bought these are not small by any stretch of the imagination. When you talking about like a button type style earring. Let me come a little close. That is pretty big. Look like ice cream. And these are large. They come in different sizes, but I bought large, and they do come in extra large. And when I bought that bracelet from her, I learned because that came in two sizes, and I'm like, oh, I want the large, but I couldn't. I don't know. The large give what I. It could have been a little bit smaller, but and I think it had I got the extra large in these, they would have been too big. But these, will be some cute earrings that they don't have to hang down, but they're gonna make a statement anyway. So that's what I grabbed from Koi. I'm in love with that shop. But let's go ahead and get into our topics. There's a few things that I wanted to discuss this week. And since this is my first episode, since this is my first episode, I wanted to like give a little background into my style just so you could understand me and the types of, you'll understand my style of dress and how I'm coming when I come. And so you probably, if you've been watching, you heard me say more than once that I love street style. And I do. It's my go-to. It's my favorite form of dress. And I even include it most times when I'm getting dressed for work. I try to make my work wear, my business casual wear. I try to incorporate street style because that's the place I go to most often, and I want to feel comfortable and like myself. So I don't want to. I don't necessarily want to have like a whole different persona or present in a whole different way 5 days out the week. I want to be me and comfortable for the place I'm at a great deal of the time. So, but anyway, my favorite form of dress is street style. And that's because I feel drawn to it. I feel most connected to it. Maybe because I'm a little street. I don't know. Way back when or whatever. I don't know, but it just is me, and I try to stay authentic and true to who I am. When I'm dressed in street style, I feel the most free. Um, I do enjoy the juxtaposition of bringing in street style and like dressing it up. I do. Uh, I do like doing that. So I like to bring in different styles. That's why I say I like edgy and chic because I don't just like street. I mean streak. I don't just like street. But so I like the juxtaposition of bringing in, like I said, dressier style and melting it with street style. I like that you can you when you're being free, you can translate it and interpret it however you want to. It's just so much room to really express yourself when you dress in street style. In my opinion, you have that room in other arenas, especially like maximalism. But I don't know that I'm even though I'm gaudy, I wouldn't consider myself really maximalist. If you've seen maximalism, I would not describe myself that way. Um, and I might pop up a couple of examples of what I think maximalism is, and I wouldn't describe myself that way. I do enjoy bold statements, but with restraint. I do on the I do like baggy silhouettes, and you get to do that a lot with street style as well. But anyway, that's the overarching street style is home is where I'm drawn to the most. Now, I do incorporate quite a bit grown edgy chic. Grown, I do try to put grown with my street style, but I do that in like an edgy chic way, and that's because I love edgy chic as well. We are all multifaceted individuals, and a lot of times that shows up in the way we dress as well. And so those are like my two go-to places. Street is number one, but right there next to it is edgy chic, and I do make sure that I don't just try to do one or the other, because if I wanted to like play it safe at work, for example, I could do edgy chic at work all the time, and then nobody will be ever looking at me sideways. But I do want to stay true to myself. So, yeah, and I pretty much just love what I love, and so I try to just do what I like. So as far as silhouettes go, I did bring up a minute ago. I brought up baggier silhouettes, and when you see me dress, some people they go bodycon a lot, and I don't want to say I shied away from it, but I kind of remove myself from the bodycon is my go-to. When I was younger, so my body has changed, and I don't want to get into the things that led to that change, but hell, my body has just changed. And when it first started to change, it took me a while, and I don't want to say I'm still in that phase, but it took me a while to really hone in on why I didn't always feel so comfortable in the clothes that I used to wear. And it was because I was dressing for a body type that I no longer had. And so as I've lost weight, I've had to replace pieces. And when I do that, as I replace things, I try to incorporate baggier silhouettes on the bottom, and um that's why you'll probably see me a lot of times when I purchase jeans, they'll be barrel. I love that look on me. I know it's a trend and it's gonna go out of style, but I'm trying to hoard as much barrel as I can because I just love that look. Now I don't like the slouchy part down here, but I don't think that's necessarily barrel. That's probably more like a genie silhouette. I don't really care for that, but barrel, that's my jam right there. Um, and I think it's important for me to, and probably others as well, to dress for the body type you have in the moment, because for me anyway, that's when I feel my best. I feel most empowering and I move more freely when I feel like I look good. So, what is, and I'm not wrapping up, but I do have a question. What's your, do you lean more street or do you lean more edgy chic, or is it somewhere else? And just basically, how do you describe your style language? Do you have a description for it? But because I talk so much about street style, it made me get to thinking about another topic that kind of piggybacks off of street style. And it is. And I'm gonna be completely honest. I was iffy if I wanted to touch on these subjects because I'm not really a combative person. I don't mind dialogue and having conversation, but I'm the type of person where I understand that most of the time, first of all, I'm not trying to change anyone's mind, but second of all, you're not more than likely gonna change anybody's mind. Everybody had their own opinion, which they are entitled to. That's the beauty of the world, is that everybody is different. But in that, let's go ahead and talk about some taboo topics in the Black community when it comes to style. And one of those topics is gold teeth in the mouth. Um, and I want to just bring it up because for me, I would like to see us reframe the way we talk about certain things in our community, how we frame them as being ghetto. And I would like for it to be more empowering, and like uplifting, especially within our own community. I think within, we should all feel safe for us to all be different from one another. And it kind of gets us into like respectability politics and what's acceptable and what's not acceptable, and who gets to make these rules and say this is what looks good and this is what does not look good. Like, and also, why do we even care? But gold teeth is one of those things. We know that we hear people say, and we may even often feel this way or have often said this, that it's ghetto, it's flashy, or that there's a stigma too, that people that have gold caps or whatever have bad breath. And I don't know if it's true, but I know sometimes I see some men on the, it's not really popular where I live, but I will see them like on the internet, and I've like said, "Oh, he look good," and a person will say, "Yeah, but his breath probably stank." So I don't know if that's true. I do have an experience with a guy, and so maybe it is true. I don't know if it's across the board. I ain't dealt with all men with caps, but if I'm speaking from that particular experience, it very well may be true. Anyway, in our country, there's a history of where it comes from, and I've heard that some of the modern day dental devices that we use in our teeth to fix our teeth now weren't as readily available, and so gold in the mouth was what they used. It was sturdy and durable, and that's where it stems from. I've also heard that it was almost like an insurance policy as well, because black people were not let into banks. Their money was not allowed in banks, and so that they were able to bury themselves. They would put the gold in their mouth, and then that was like an insurance policy. Don't know if that's like true to a certain area or region or whatever, but I've heard it and I've read it also. And so there's a history, and a lot of times, because we know that fashion is cyclable, cyclical, cyclical. Fashion is cyclical. And so the people, especially in the South, have brung this tradition, and they still do it. Now, it's not for those reasons now. I know that for sure. It's style now. And but how do you all feel about it? I think sometimes it looks good. And sometimes, you know, sometimes I've seen it where it didn't look all that great to me. So, but I just I guess the thing that bothers me is the way I hear people in my community frame the way they talk about it. And another thing I hear that people in our community frame that it kind of bothers me is sagging pants. I just wish we could just always love on each other. I'm thirsty and I want to take a sip, but I dare not do that. Mm-mm. And I usually buy my kombucha from Aldi, and they didn't have the brand that I usually buy, and that might as well just go in the garbage because it will not be getting drunk. That is disgusting. Anywho, the sagging pants. And the history behind the sagging pants, we probably have all heard that it stems somewhere in jail. And it's almost like a way for men on the DL to signal to other men in jail that they are that way because they sag their pants. I don't know if that's true or if it was true during a certain era. Probably not so much now, but I don't know. I'm not in. I haven't been to jail. I'm not in the jail culture. I don't know how much of that is true. Or I've also heard and read that it happened in jail a lot because they take their belts away. That seemed more believable to me than possibly the to signal homosexuality. They take their belts away, and so their pants would sag, and they would take their belts away for certain safety concerns. So that's the history of it, and then it trickled outside of jail into the street, which makes a whole lot of sense. Um, so we hear that a lot of times that it looks sloppy, that basically that it's uncouth. I can agree that sometimes I have seen men with like big old juicy booties, and I'm like, wow, what made you want to do that? Not that I've asked, but I've thought. I've had the thought, like, wow. But some people see it and get angry, and the sight of it does not anger me. Some of the words and the way it's articulated when they see it, I'm just like, wow. And maybe what I have an issue with is judgment. Maybe that's what the bigger issue of mine is. I don't know, but how do you feel about women copying these styles? Because a lot we didn't create these styles, but women do copy these styles. We inherit these styles from our lovers, our brothers, the men we see. And to be honest, I do have some gold caps. I bought gold caps twice because I think they can be cute. I think sometimes when Erica Badu does it, oh, chef's kiss. I love it. Um, I bought Nisha the letters individual, and I just can't never get them in right. And I'm not about to spend a lot of money on it. I don't even know if it's some. First of all, I do know that it's something that I don't want to wear all the time. But so I bought little cutesy ones, and I can't never keep them in. But how do you feel about women wearing the gold teeth and the sagging pants? Because I also have bought cute boxes so that I can say, oh, I just think. And when I say sag, I'm saying to show the top part of my boxes when it match my outfit. Not necessarily sag in the way that some people slouch my clothes in the way that some people do it. Not that there's in my mind anything wrong with it one way or the other, but I just felt like it could open up friendly conversation because I would like to build community here, and one way to build community is to get to know each other. So, what are your thoughts on that? Would you date a guy with either gold teeth or sagging pants? Would you let your sons walk out the house with sagging pants? What are your thoughts? All right, fashion best friends. That wraps up my first nightcap. I just wanted to leave you all with some things to think about, like I said, because I do think that fashion is not just only the way we're seen and the way we present ourselves, but it's our culture, it's context, and it's how others see us as well, and it's also how they judge us. So, whether you're shopping smart, dressing bold, or challenging the way people view the world or see themselves in using certain styles, I just want to remind you to do it with intention and with grace as well, if you can. Don't forget to let me know your thoughts. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel in order to stay tuned. I will see you in the next video, which is going to be a new game that I'm premiering on Wednesday. If you don't know, if you haven't noticed, I post Fashion IRL segmented episodes on Sundays, and then I do game nights on Wednesdays. And I've repeatedly done Fashion Roulette, but I'm debuting a new game, which is called Style Dare, on this upcoming Wednesday. So I'll see you Wednesday. I'm playing it. See you Wednesday, girl, for Style Dare. And as always, signing off. Love you, bye.